everyone, I hope you guys are all well. As you can probably tell from the title of this video that I am not here to review the book I've been reading this week because I have hardly read any of it. I've been so super busy. This week it's been crazy. I've been doing something every single day, and yesterday afternoon, because I'd spent the morning cleaning my house, I was free, but it was 32 degrees centigrade here in South West England, and it was so hot I just didn't have the energy to do it. I didn't have the energy to make this video, but now it's cooler. It's only 20 degrees centigrade, thank God. And so I've decided to do this video now I've got some time. And after I finished, I will be spending the day reading, so I will be getting back on track. But anyway, I'm going to talk about a place that I went on on Wednesday, which was absolutely incredible. It was the Harry Potter Studio Tours London. Now, I'm going to tell you some information about going around. I'm not going to necessarily tell you specific things that you will see, because obviously for those who haven't been, you know, you want to be surprised at things you see. I was surprised by a load of things I saw, but just to tell you about how, you know, you navigate through some tips about with going round, and also show you the stuff that I got. And one is actually in the shop, so I'm just going to tweak them down there. Show you later. Right. So to start with, just FYI, I went on a coach trip with my mum. So there were a whole load of us going, and we got there at 11:30, and our time slot to actually enter the tour was between 12 and 12:30. So when you get there, just so you know, there are, as you approach the building, you'll see there's these like booths to your left hand side of the building where you can actually pick up your tickets, because you have to have your ticket scanned to be able to go into the building itself. So it's not like you go in the building, look around the shop, and then you need your ticket for the actual tour. You need it to get in the building for start off. Okay, and here is my first tip, which is only take in what you need. And the reason why I say that is because, well, they're twofold. First of all, you get your bag searched as soon as you go into the building. After they've scanned your ticket, you get your bag searched, you get a metal detector run up and down you, front and back. So it saves time if you don't have, you know, load of stuff in your bag that you really don't need. And also there isn't like a cloakroom sort of service thing where you can put your bags or you know, keep locked away or something while you go around the tour. There's nothing like that available. At least the information never mentioned it to me when I asked, because it was our first visit, me and my mum, we didn't know where we needed to go, so I spoke to information and they never mentioned it. So yeah, you're walking a lot of the day, so really only take what you need, else it's going to be really annoying carrying a load of stuff around with you. Right, so after you've done the bag search and everything, you go into like the sort of lobby area, and there's to your left hand side there's digital tour guides available. Me and my mum didn't do that, so I have absolutely no idea what that covers, but seeing people, you know, playing around with them on the tour, I could see like sometimes they had videos, they had maps, information. They all had headsets as well, so I have absolutely no clue exactly what it covers. So if you want to go for it, give it a go. But yeah, it cost I think it was like £5 to do that. So that's over to your left hand side. Directly behind you, over to your right, is the information desk, and over to the far right is the toilets. So that's the first kind of bit. But there's some beautiful paintings on the actual walls and everything of owls with letters, and there's spirals of letters just, you know, going up and down the walls and stuff like this. It's absolutely beautiful. And then you go into the main lobby, and it was like, wow, I could not believe what I was seeing. I'm not going to tell you what is in the lobby, but you will go, Jesus. Instant pictures taking. So yeah, so when you go into the lobby, over to the main lobby, over to your left hand side is just a series of benches, and they've got costumes from Fantastic Beasts, so you can sit down have a chill, whatever. Over to your right hand side, you've got Starbucks. You've then got the shop. You've then got the tour entrance, and right at the very, very back, you've got the Chocolate Frog Cafe, and the back over to the right, under like the Marauders map stuff, you've got hot meals that are there as well. So you've got a variety of different things available for you to look at. You can go in the shop before you go on the tour, because the tour ends going into the shop as well. So it's always open to you. So my next tip, apart from, making sure you take in what you need, my second tip is that depending on how you feel about food and prices and allergies and such, it might be a good idea for you to take your own food. That's totally fine for you to do. My mum and I did that. The reason why we did that, my mum's vegan, I'm vegetarian, and even though they did have vegan and vegetarian options, the things that they had, we just didn't fancy it. And also because we were going as a coach group, we were limited to time that we were going to be there. It was really busy. There was loads of school groups, because obviously it's the end of the school year, so they're kind of filling up their days and such. So maybe if, even though it was a weekday, it was still going to be busy, because of course it's Harry Potter Studio Tour. But I think if you went in early September or something, when the kids were back at school, it might be a bit different. But because it was so crazy and everything, and as I said, we weren't that interested in the food menus and such. All food menus are on their website, I will give you that. They don't put drinks, but the drinks are kind of, what you would expect, and there's Starbucks and everything, so you know what's at Starbucks. But all of that stuff is on their menus, on their website. So because we weren't interested, we took our own food. That was perfectly fine. And we had a ticket which allowed us to be to enter the studio tour between 12 and 12:30. Stick to your time slot is my next bit of advice. There were loads of people, because we got there at 11:30. There were loads of people with tickets 12 to 12:30 who tried to get through, and they were instantly rejected and told, you've got to come back in your time slot. There is a reason for it, and that's due to spaces. You have to book a half-hour time slot. We started queuing at 12. We didn't get into the tour until 12:35. Just FYI. So that just gives you a gauge of what it's like. You'll find sometimes the queue is massive. You'll find that sometimes it's quite short, and it's the time slots. It's the way in which they work. So bring what you need. Bring food, your own food and drink, if you want to, if you have issues with like the actual menus that they have on the website, or with the prices, and always stick to your time slot. Okay, so we did look around the shop in that half hour that we had available, which was absolutely great, because the shop was actually, it was busy, but it was quite quiet, because once you come from a tour and you go into that shop, it is absolutely hectically busy. So it was actually kind of nice to be able to spend some time looking around beforehand. But yes, we went to the shop, and then we started queuing. And you queue, and there's quite, a wave of it. You go through a couple of rooms, but in those rooms, it's actually really good, because they've got scripts, they've got photos, concept art. You actually have the sign for Privet Drive, you have the cupboard under the stairs, you have bits of the Dursley's living room. So you've got all of these things for you to look at and interact with, and there's still at wheeze. And then we got stopped right at the end of the weaving stuff, because a certain number of people are allowed to go on the tour each time, as it were. So we got told, okay, we need to stop now. You'll be stopped here. It'll be about 10 minutes. Totally fine. And there were like 5, maybe 6 people in front of us, so we were right near the front. So after a bit of time, they let us into this final room, one before last room, which was all the film posters, and it was absolutely wonderful, and they were all interactive as it were. They were all moving and everything. And then we went to another room, which led us to watch a video that basically gives you all the information you need to know about using the digital tours, things that you'll see. They tell you, you know, don't touch any of the displays, all this lot, when you can and can't use your cameras for taking pictures or for recording video, all that kind of stuff. And it was absolutely joyous to watch and to see the memories and going back. And then finally, you go into the final room, which is a cinema, and you get to watch a bit of a video and learn some information about what you're going to see again, with loads of behind the scenes footage. And then finally, you get to begin the tour. Okay, so I know that was quite detailed to let you know, but that's just to let you know you're going to be standing, you're going to be snaking through. Depending on what point in which you came in your slot could depend on how long you're going to have to stand through that. And as I said, we started our slot at 12 o'clock. We had the 12 to 12:30, and we didn't get to start the tour until 12:35. So there you go. Right. So it was actually quite nice because the actual tour begins with the Great Hall, and because I was celebrating my birthday, I got to go up and open the door with I think there was about 4 or 5 other people, so we all got to open the door together because we were all celebrating our birthdays and, you know, various things, which was really lovely. I really liked that was wonderful. And then you finally go in. There is for the Great Hall, there is somebody with a microphone set who's telling you some little tidbits about the Great Hall, and then after that you are totally free range to do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you specific things that you'll see, as I said, but you just literally, you can navigate through. You don't need a map at all to do this. You can completely navigate through. They had this thing which I didn't know about until I was actually in the tour, which was really annoying. And it's the Harry Potter passport, and basically it's a passport where you can get these embossed stamps once you've reached all of these various points. There's 6 to collect, and there's quizzes in it and everything. And if I'd known, I would have got one, but oh well. They were mainly obviously for kids, as a souvenir thing. But it was really lovely to see people lining up to stamp their embossed stamp and everything on the passports. So yeah, so as I said, you can navigate through. There's no need for maps or anything like that. It's very, very simple. Here is my next tip. If you are taking a picture of something and you need to get a wider shot, check that there's someone behind you before you take a step back. Now, the reason why I say that, there were so many times where I was just looking at something and then I just feel this like sudden bump from behind or from my side because someone's taking a picture of something or their friend in front of a prop and they need a bigger frame and they've just walked backwards and banged right into you. So look out for people who are doing that, and if you are needed to do that, check that there's no one behind you. That's, you know, what what I would say. There are sections where there's complete green screen backgrounds, and these are sections that you are told that you cannot take pictures and you cannot film whilst you're there. That's mainly the stuff on broomsticks, Quidditch, and platform 9 3/4. Special section, but they're completely, you can see them, they're clustered together, so you can completely walk past that's fine, or you can have a go at it. So for those sections, the Quidditch, being on the broom, the Quidditch, and the wand choreography bit, me and my mum, we went past that, but the crowds was huge around those, and especially they were full of school groups, and there must have been about 4 or 5 school groups I think that we came across, and each of them must have had about 20, 30 kids. So you can imagine the crowds around the Quidditch and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, it's just, you can just literally just navigate through. You don't need a map, and just follow through it and just gaze at the wonderfulness. So just so you know, the way that it works is that it's like there's 2 studios, and in the middle there's a cafe, and there's the back lot. And the back lot is where they have the more external sets. So even when you're chilling, having something to eat or whatever, you can sit there and go, oh, that's Night Bus. Oh, that's Grimmauld Place. You know, oh, that's the kind of the other. Not Grimmauld Place, sorry. Harry's parents' house in Hogsmeade. So it's got, there's so much crazy stuff for you to look at. There's some that's absolutely mind-boggling. But as I said, you got the one set. Then you walk through, there's a cafe where you can buy butterbeer and hot food and such. You leave that door and then you're in the back lot area. So it was really lovely to like actually go into number 4 Privet Drive, to actually go on the night bus, to sit in the car from Chamber of Secrets, the flying car. That kind of thing, to interact with these, and they've got the giant chess pieces there, which are amazing. So once you, as I said, you've navigated through the one thing I will say, the first studio ends with platform 9 3/4, and in platform 9 3/4 there is a shop. Now, I didn't go in that shop because I gathered that the stock that would be in that shop is the same as the big shop when you go into the building. Not the case. So my next tip is that if you really want to see all the merchandise, make sure you visit the shop at platform 9 3/4, as well as the big shop in the main part of the studio and everything, because you're going to miss out on stuff. I had absolutely no clue. I didn't go in that shop, so I've missed out a load of stuff. And I actually, at the end, I wanted a certain item which was in the platform 9 3/4 shop. I had no clue. So I was like, oh, great. But luckily they said, oh, don't worry, we, you know, this happens all the time. We'll get a staff member to go get it for you. And, you know, so if you just stand there, we'll be back in with you in like 5 minutes. And they were really quick and they got it for me. So yeah, so if you really want to see all the official merchandise, make sure you visit the platform 9 3/4 shop as well as the big shop. Okay, so that's my other tip. Just so you know, with the green screen stuff, literally, because I did a green screen thing with my mum, platform 9 3/4. We had a couple of pictures. I'm not going to show you the pictures because, you know, my mum's in them and I don't want to show her picture on in a video, and, you know, she has no idea. So, and also they're very special photos to me. They're really, really lovely. It was a lot of fun to do. We had to queue up for quite a bit because there were a few school groups before us. But it was a lot of fun. So when you do a green screen thing, you're given a slip of paper with a barcode on it, and literally you go round a corner. We did the platform 9 3/4 one. You go round a corner and there is a desk there specifically for those photos, and you hand over your receipt, they scan it, and then you can see your pictures or video, and you can decide what you want and pay for that there. So the green screen stuff you have to pay for as you go around, depending on what you do. It's not a case of at the end you then pick up everything. No, you pay for it there and then. So then we move on to the cafe, the backlot cafe, which is what sits between the two studios. And as I said, the backlot, you're able to go on like the bridge that's in Hogwarts Bridge, which is absolutely beautiful. But I didn't get to go on it because it was lunchtime. All the school groups were sat on the floor around the bridge, and I couldn't go on it. So, but I've got a lovely picture of the actual bridge itself. So yeah, so you go on Night Bus, Privet Drive. You see outside Harry and Harry's parents' home. The bridge, you get to see the car, you know, as I said, and interact with them. And also at the Backlot Cafe is where you can buy butterbeer. Now, you can buy them in souvenir tavern cups, or just standard cup. We just did the standard cup. It was nice. I did like it, but I was really annoyed because I thought they might sell it in the shop, and they didn't sell it. you know, in bottles, because I've seen it in bottles as well, previously in like Lakeland and such around Christmas, but I wonder if that's not official merchandise drink, or if it is, I don't know. But I couldn't buy some to take home with me, so I'm going to look out for butterbeer when next time I see it available around Christmas as such in Lakeland and that. Yeah, and then you'll go into the second studio, and the second studio is it's still got, you know, amazing various props and all that lot, and it has Diagon Alley, just FYI, but it also is more looking at the technical things, like you know, the fake dummies, you know, that kind of thing, how they do the makeup, how they make the goblins, all of the different props, what materials they used, that all that kind of stuff. It was really fascinating to go through, and I loved the miniatures made out of the paper models that they made, or card models, of the various sets that they were going to be creating. They were fascinating to look at, absolutely stunning. And me and my mum absolutely loved it. As you may have seen, Grimmauld Place opened recently, about a month ago. That is in that second studio. And yeah, you just, as I said again, you navigate through. It's more the creative process, you know, technicalities, things that they had to do, like aging of, like Harry, Ron and Hermione's outfits in both Deathly Hallows films, how at the beginning they're quite pristine, and then by the end they're all torn and dirty and that, and how do they age clothes, and all that kind of thing. It was stunning, and the end thing, I'm not going to say what it is, just absolutely blew my mind. I was just in utter awe at that ending. It was absolutely wonderful. The beginning of the actual, when I said, you know, that information video about what you can and can't do, please don't touch the displays, all that lot, you're told that if you do absolutely everything and look at everything, then it takes about 3.5 hours. We had well, we got in at 12:35, as I said, and we had to leave at 4 o'clock. So we ended up finishing about 3. So we did it, yeah, we did it in like 2.5 hours, and then that gave us an hour to sit. We went to Chocolate Frog Cafe and had a lovely cup of tea because we needed it. There, you know, needed to sit down. We had a bit of cake, and yeah, it was a nice way to end the tour before going back on the coach. And but just to give you an idea of the amount of time that you know you have there, there's no, once you've gotten through that initial, as I said, that initial queuing up and, you know, weaving through, and you do the video in the Great Hall, once that, it's free reign. You can take it however long you want. But for me and my mum, because we were part of the coach trip, we had a certain amount of time that we had to do it in. But once you leave the tour, you can't go back. You literally, you go through the door, and there's staff there, and they're like, right, hand over your digital tools, here's the shop, bye bye. So you can't go back into the tour. But yeah, there are benches scattered around throughout the tour if you need to have a sit down, but there's not like excessive, you know, loads of seating area. It's literally, the Backlot Cafe is a proper place for you to sit down and relax. It's not that big. I thought it would be bigger, if I'm honest, but then I wonder if, because we went on a really, really good weather day, there were loads of people that were sat outside, so maybe it was that thing that, depending on how many people were in there at that time, could depend on how busy it's going to be and what the weather is going to be like. Because obviously, if the Backlot Cafe is absolutely rammed and it's chucking it down, well, you kind of scuppered. So where you have to stand up. Oh, that was one thing I forgot. One of my other tips is that in the Backlot Cafe there are 2 queues. You have one to your left, one to your right. If you just want butterbeer, go to the one on your right. If you want food and or not have butterbeer, go to the one on your left. They're 2 completely separate queue systems. So yeah, go to the queue on your right for butterbeer. Yeah, so the ending absolutely blew my mind. It was stunningly beautiful way to end it, and there are quotes by JK scattered about, and I will say this one last little teaser, as it were, for about the end of the tour. It ends with you're going into the shop, as it were, and you're surrounded by wands, and at the top just above you is the quote from the final premiere where JK said, whether you return via the film or via the page, Hogwarts will always be there to welcome you home. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful way to end this glorious, glorious tour. Oh, I've just remembered one other thing. Another tip. They do mention it on the introductory video. Gringotts stuff, when you are, which is the second studio, there is a sequence in there which is very loud. It is rather dark, but it gets very, very bright, and it has flashing lights. So if you have any issues with flashing lights and such, then you might want to divert through that section, but there's staff all around, everywhere, who you can talk to about which sections are going, if there are any issues about that, and they can help you with that. They're not all that clear. I have to say, the Universal Studios uniform is not that bright. It's black shoes, beige trousers, a white and pale blue striped top, and a black fleece. So amongst hundreds of people, it's quite hard to see them. But there are quite a few of them scattered about. So yeah, they'll always be around. So then the shop, and I bought some goodies, which I'm going to show you now. So, well, the first goodie I want to show you, I actually got in Oxford, because I was at Oxford a couple of days before, it was last week, at the end of last week. There is a shop in Oxford called The Shop of Secrets, and they sell official Harry Potter merchandise. It's not that big, just so you know, it's not that big. So they don't have loads of stuff as well. Well, they've got lots of stuff, but it's rather cramped, and if you've got quite a few people in there, it's quite tight. So I've always said that I would only ever buy one wand, ever. I've been a fan of Harry Potter for 12 years, and I've not had a wand in those 12 years. And I said, if I ever were to buy one, it would have to be my girl Luna Lovegood. And I went into that shop, and they had all of the wands out, and right at the bottom in the very corner there was one box that had Luna Lovegood written on it. So I had to buy it. And so I now own Luna's wand. Isn't it beautiful? Gorgeous. Now, all of the ones are available on London as well. They've got different coloured boxes. They're all like browns and dark blues and dark greens. So the fact that mine's in a red box, I quite like that. The ones that are in bright boxes at the London tour are the ones from Fantastic Beasts. So you can really see the difference. But obviously, because it's official merchandise, it was the same price at the Shop of Secrets as it was in the official tour. So I have got a wand thanks to that. So when it comes to the stuff that I actually bought from the official tour, first of all, is something I absolutely love, but my mum didn't like. It's Fang. It's Fang, isn't he beautiful? I love Fang. He's my absolute favourite animal. Out of all the animals in Harry Potter, I absolutely adore Fang. I always have. And the guy who served me at the till was like, oh, he's a coward, don't you? And I was like, well, not to me. So I got a Fang teddy, and I absolutely love him. And the people on the coach that we were with absolutely loved him as well. So they wanted Fang, but they didn't get him, so I let them have a hold. Oh dear, I think there's a door shutting in my house because of a window wide open. So I let them have a hold while we were on the way home. So yeah, so we got Fang. So he's going to guard my sofa from now on. So I don't know, he might pop up in other videos, I don't know. Other thing I got is just a very quick treat, because I fancied it. I got a chocolate wand, and the reason why this box is empty is, of course, because I've eaten it. But why have I still got the box? Not just to show you guys. inside the box is actually the molds to create the two halves of a chocolate wand. So you can melt chocolate, refill it, and have as many chocolate wands as you like in the future. So I would recommend keeping the box if you get a chocolate wand. So there we go. I also got, as I said, from the Platform 9 3/4 shop that one of the staff members very kindly went back to get me. I got a ticket, the Platform 9 3/4 ticket from London to Hogwarts, and I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. So yeah, I had to get one of these. I needed to get it. Then I had an impulse buy because it was too gorgeous to turn away. A card of the cover of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them textbook by Newt Scamander. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just saw that and I was like, no, I've got to buy that. That's an impulse buy. I also bought as a souvenir the guide. The souvenir guide. This is the new edition, as you see, because it includes Gringotts, which only opened a month ago. And it gives you lovely, gorgeous pictures, obviously minus crowds of various things that you will see throughout. Little tidbits, special things that I didn't even notice. But there's so much in there. There is so much information. Like, at one point, I was in a room right at the beginning of the second studio, and I just happened to turn around and look above the door. And above the door was a shelf that was full of all these little bottles, and there was the headset that Luna wears, the Gryffindor headset in Harper Prince. And I was like, oh my god, that's one of my favourite props, and I took a picture of it. So there's little things scattered all about. There's so much for you to see. And one thing I will say that I absolutely loved was that they had the various outfits of Harry, Ron, and Hermione through the years. And in the Gryffindor common room, they had their third year outfits, and I just happened to look up, just kind of to the left hand side, kind of where their rooms would be, and there was this massive shelf, and on the shelf was their first year outfits, and I was like, oh my god, that is so cute. They were tiny, they were so titch, but then obviously their age, but do you know what I mean? It was really cute to be able to see them, and so I would say, so that's another tip, that if you are in any of the areas, look around as much as possible. You will see some gems, some absolute gems tucked away that you may not realise are there. But yeah, this was £10. They had a hardback cover, I think they had, for like 15, that I could only see the paperback, but I didn't care because I thought it was absolutely wonderful. But yeah, there's a whole load of stuff, information. I read this cover to cover on the way back. It was wonderful to read. And then finally, the thing I am so glad that I got, and I love it. It's the Harry Potter film artifacts box. So there are 3 boxes available, one for Harry, one for Hermione, and one for Ron. All of them have different things. And just so you know where these are, because somebody on Facebook, because I'm part of a Harry Potter Facebook group, I took a picture of this, and they said, oh, I was there a few weeks ago, I never saw that. If you go to the far left, as you're looking at the shop, far left, right at the back, there is a load of, there's an area where it's like glass cases, and it's got really expensive jewellery and where you can personalise engraved stuff. And in that box are these. Just so you know, they keep them in the cabinet behind. They open the box just to make sure everything is in there to show you, and then they will take it to the till and keep it behind the till for you. You don't have to go to the till straight away, because me and my mum certainly were not done with the shop at all. But yeah, he said, don't worry about it, just tell the person who serves you that you've got a Harry Potter artifacts box behind here, and they'll get it for you, and they did. So yeah, there's 3 boxes, one for Harry, one for Hermione, and one for Ron, and they've got all 3 of them got different things, but I adored the Harry one the most. So I'm going to show you what's in this box. So you've got paper cover, on it, so there it is without the cover. And when you open it up, if I can open it up, you've got a Marauders map print just there for you to show you. So it's a proper box thing with a metallic seal, so it closes up and everything. So first of all, you've got a metal Hogwarts Express luggage bag, which I love, absolutely love. I wish it wasn't yellow though. Not to diss, Hufflepuffs or anything, but I'm a Ravenclaw, so if it was blue, that would be my preference. But I don't have a particular issue other than that. So yeah, so you get the Hogwarts Express luggage bag, a metal one. You get a ticket to the final of the Quidditch World Cup that Harry went to in the Goblet of Fire, and yeah, it caused a bit of controversy, obviously, with the events that happened there. Then you have this 3D image, which changes everything. I think you can just about see that, but it looks better up close, of the original Order of the Phoenix, which is absolutely beautiful. And you've got all like Lily and James as Sirius and Hagrid and Neville's parents and everyone, and Dumbledore's there at the back, and it's absolutely lovely to look at. But yeah, you can't really see it on my screen, but you can sort of see it reacting. But just so you know, it's a proper 3D picture of the group. Then I'll show you the scrolls. So our small scroll in here has got a list of all the kids that join Dumbledore's army in the Order of the Phoenix. That's all of their signatures right there. Harry, Ron and Hermione right at the top, followed by George and Fred Weasley. And Luna, my lovely Luna, and Neville. And it goes so on and so on. So that's the full list there. So scroll up. And then the larger scroll right here is something rather special as well. It's the wanted poster of Sirius Black from the Prisoner of Azkaban. So the Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite film out of the series. So the fact that I've got the Sirius's poster, I love his wanted poster. It is great. Then we have this special little letter. This is a letter that Lily wrote to Sirius. It is not really focused on in the films or seen, but it's one of those props which, if you kind of know the books, it's quite a sweet, important letter, and it just shows the friendship between Lily and Sirius. So to have a prop which isn't really focused on in the film, but is part of the film, that is connected to the books, and I just love that. I really love this letter. It's absolutely lovely. It's talking about she's talking about their life at the moment in hiding, how Harry is enjoyed his birthday present, which is actually a mini little broomstick for him to fly about on and everything. And she's just explaining how James is frustrated, and the invisibility coat and everything, and Bathilda has been looking after Harry. It's just a really beautiful letter. So to have that, I really, really loved. And the very, very last thing, of course, it's the letter. It's the wonderful Hogwarts letter with the crest print and everything, telling him how he has been accepted to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, signed by Professor McGonagall herself. So, yeah. So, as you can see, I was just like, when I saw that artifacts box, I was like, I need it. And I think the reason why I chose the Harry one, because I wanted all three of them, but I couldn't afford to buy all three of them. I was just a bit like, I think the Harry one has a lot more sentimental stuff to do with the links to the book, the things about friendship, family, love, standing together, fighting against evil. So I was just like, I have to get that artifacts box. So yes, those are all my goodies that I bought, and yeah, I love my Fang. So I absolutely adored it. I had the most wonderful day, as I said, because there were, even though there were places for you to sit down throughout, there weren't many, and so we walked around for like 3 solid hours. Um, and then yeah, I had to sit on a coach for 2 hours. So the next day, me and my mum were absolutely shattered. My legs were killing me after after that day. And you don't realise, I think, because I was so excited, I didn't notice how tiring it was. I never thought about my legs and how I felt or anything. And I think my mum's kind of the same. I mean, she's only seen 2 of the films. So she didn't really know what she was looking at, but she thoroughly enjoyed it herself. She found the creative stuff fascinating, and she didn't notice how tired she was either. So yeah, it kind of hit us the next day. So my final tip is that if you do go to the studio tour, have some time the next day to unwind and relax and deal with the aching in your legs, because you're probably going to have aching legs. So yeah, so bring what you need, bring food if you need to. The Butterbeer queue is the queue on the right for when you go into the Backlot Cafe. Oh gosh, what are my other tips? Um, oh yeah, the Platform 9 3/4 shop, and what I just said about your aching legs. And if I had any other tips that I said throughout that I've forgotten, I apologise, but I include them as well. So yeah, even though some of that was kind of detailed, I didn't tell you about certain props that you would see. It was more advice for what you're going to encounter as you go around. But overall, just love it, enjoy it, have fun. And just in case it is a rainy day, it might be worth bringing an umbrella in case you have to stand outside at the Backlot Cafe. So yeah, that's all I can think of to say. I hope this video has been informative. Please let me know if I've ruined any of it for you, of the studio tour for you, or if you want me to give more details, let me know in your comments and I can do a separate video. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a wonderful day. Oh, I have just remembered one last thing. This is not to do with the store, it's to do with the shop. I had, as I said, I had taken pictures of what I had bought and I put them on the Harry Potter group, and somebody asked about, the artifact box. She'd been there a few weeks ago, and I told her, well, they sell them in the online shop. She wasn't aware that there was an online shop. So there is an online shop for you to go in as well. All of the stock that is in the Platform 9 3/4 shop and the main shop are online. They do ship overseas, but not to America, because I know that because this same person, we had a bit of back and forth on Facebook, and she said she's in America, and they didn't deliver there, but they delivered to like France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Australia, all kinds. But I thought it was a bit odd that they didn't ship to America. But then my mum came up with a good point that, well, there's the Universal Studios stuff in Florida, isn't it? So surely you should be able to go to their shop, because they'll have all the official merchandise and buy it from there. So I have absolutely no idea if like these artifact boxes, and everything else is definitely available from the Universal Studios in Florida. But if you're in America and you want to buy stuff from the official merchandise, it might be worth checking them out. But I've also found that these artifact boxes have been sold by other sellers on Amazon here in the UK. So just because you can't necessarily use the Studio Tour online shop, you could try Amazon or the Universal Studios in Florida online shop. Okay, that's my absolute last that I'm going to say. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been informative. If you've got any questions, then please ask me in the comments below. If you want me to be more detailed, I might make another video. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And as I said, Fang might make some more appearances in future videos because he sits here guarding my sofa from now on. Alright, guys. Bye.